Boruto is supposed to be unstoppable. The boy who was given the Karma Seal by Momoshiki, the boy who learned the Flying Raijin, created the Rasengan Uzuhiko, and made Code, the man who humiliated Sasuke, run for his life. Boruto had become so powerful so quickly that fans couldn't even keep up with his rise. How quickly he was able to live up to the potential that both Naruto and Sasuke referred to in Boruto Part 1. But then Jura happened, and Boruto's meteoric rise, it hit a wall so fast that it shattered our perception of him. His strongest jutsu, oh, that thing failed. His speed with the Flying Raijin, well, it was fast, but it wasn't quite fast enough. And his wit, his bravery, his determination, it still wasn't enough either. The most he could do was cut off Jura's leg, and then Jura proceeded to say, oh, that's cute right there, and knock him unconscious with 3 hits. And that's exactly why it's the best thing that could have ever happened for Boruto Uzumaki. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video, where we're gonna have some fun here with this topic. And as you can tell from the way that I'm recording this video, as well as the thumbnail that should have that infamous Boruto crying face getting punched on a punching bag, completely updated with 2 Blue Vortex Boruto. Shouts out to the channel artist for drawing that. We're gonna have some fun with it. This might hurt some feelings because Boruto Uzumaki fans have been on my neck for pointing out that he got dog walked in the fight, but I'm gonna explain to you why this is actually a good thing for Boruto. So for context, Boruto's fight against Jura is where we have to start. Basically the original sin. So Boruto didn't walk in this fight expecting to win, obviously. He walked in knowing, hey, this could mean certain death if I play around in this fight a little too long, or if Kawaki doesn't let Amato touch him with the ninja tech long enough for Kawaki to pop up a brand new changed man. He went into it knowing very well this could be the end for him. He did it anyway though, very admirable. He did it to protect Konohamaru. He did it to let Sarada and Mitsuki escape, to buy time in the face of very hopeless odds. His beatdown was so brutal that Ada, who is slowly becoming a Boruto simp herself, even Ada's like, oh my god, I can't bear to watch this. And this is somebody who has been able to look back over the last 19 years in the timeline. So she's seen Pain blow up the Hidden Leaf Village. Even she was like, yo, this is a little bit too much for me to look at. But the important thing, and the thing that I think a lot of people are missing, is that this whole thing, it shows growth. And it also shows leadership. And because Boruto wants to inherit Sasuke's mantle as Shadow Hokage, it also shows he's not afraid of making the sacrifice. Narratively, what followed, it was also more important. Rasengan Uzuhiko, his most powerful jutsu, again, that thing failed. Was it at full power? No. But Jura now knows how to counter it. And Boruto fighting against someone like Jura, the problem he's running into is that he's got to stand still for a very long time in order to charge at full power. And just like with the Flying Raijin, Jura's not going to sit there and let him have the time to concentrate, and he's not going to have long enough in a conversation with him to charge up to full power unless he and Jura get into this heated debate about what it means to feel the emotional love, and then Jura might just snap his neck before he gets finished talking. His purple lightning jutsu, that didn't phase Jura. Jura basically said, oh, that's cute, you gave me a brief tan. Even using his Flying Raijin, the jutsu of legends that only 6 people in the Naruto world have ever mastered, that was being countered in real time. Jura was learning how to fight. Boruto, he fought very smart. He went deep into his bag, pulled out some of the stuff that his own father did by using the kunai and using shadow clones and dropping the sword and everything just so he could cut Jura's foot with the sleight of hand. But then Jura, he proceeded to shrug it off and he beat him unconscious with 3 hits. And it should be worth noting, he did it on 1 leg. That wasn't just a loss. He took the expression, you don't have a leg to stand on, and he basically beat the hell out of Boruto for it. The only thing that would have made it funnier is if he would have backhanded Boruto with that foot and then apologized to him and said, I'm sorry I didn't wipe the sand off the foot before I smacked you with it. That was a humbling, and it was necessary. As much as I've seen Boruto Uzumaki fans getting pissed off that he lost this fight, even though it's been built up for a whole 10 chapters that Boruto could not beat Jura as he was. And you could go as far back as chapter 4 of the manga, the signs were always there. Even though that might piss people off, it is needed for his character. And God knows if I'm going to meme Kawaki and make fun of him and Sumire and Sarada and Sasuke and everybody else, you better believe I'm going to make fun of Boruto. So taking the shade out of it for a second, I do want to get serious here. So what this chapter did is that it basically crushed the myth of the natural genius. Allow me to explain. One of the most dangerous things that a story can do is make the protagonist too perfect too quickly. Boruto, he was walking that edge. He wasn't quite there. I've done videos, and shouts out to my guy Eternal Hokage, who is retired from YouTube, but we did a pretty good video years ago basically debunking the "is Boruto a Gary Stu" argument, which he isn't. People just throw words out without actually knowing what they mean. But here's the thing, Boruto, he mastered very overpowered jutsu. He's still got flaws in them, like with the Flying Raijin. He's got the new variation, the Rasengan Uzuhiko. Even that has some holes in it. But Boruto learned those jutsu very quickly. It took 2 years of training with Kashin Koji, and he's learned things that Boruto in other timelines needed several years to learn. He managed to beat Code like it was nothing, despite Code being someone who scales over Jigen, which means he scaled over Naruto and Sasuke from part 1. He also tricked Hidari and was able to take Hidari out with a near full power Uzuhiko. He was able to hold his own against Momoshi despite being caught off guard. But what did all this mean narratively if Boruto never truly hit a wall? The answer is, before this, it didn't mean as much. You knew that Boruto was facing increasing odds, but in the back of your mind, you always thought, yeah, Boruto can pull this out. I'm not worried. This fight with Jura, it reintroduces struggle into Boruto's story. It reminds the audience that even the most gifted of ninja, this being Boruto, even he has limits. That even Boruto Uzumaki, or Boruto Otsutsuki, which for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call him Otsutsuki Boruto because I already got Boruto Uzumaki fans mad at me, so might as well lean into it. But even Boruto Otsutsuki, who surpassed every version of Naruto in raw power, even he can fail. And that failure, that's essential for his development, because now Boruto is no longer a genius who is coasting through destiny. Now he's having to endure just like his father did. And this brings me to Kawaki's rise and how that ironically is also playing a role in Boruto's character arc. When Kawaki showed up right after Boruto fell and went sleepy time, fresh off of having his limiters removed by Amato, I saw some of the fandom split. I saw some people saying, oh, Boruto's being overshadowed now, this is disrespectful to him, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I'm responding like that is that entire reaction, it misses the whole point. This is like Yuno fans and Asta fans getting into it over the last Black Clover chapter. It's the same damn thing. No spoilers, but it's the same thing. Kawaki's rise is part of Boruto's awakening. And just as the Yuno plot twist was foreshadowed, the Kawaki plot twist was foreshadowed as well. It's the same way that Sasuke's raw talent drove Naruto to become stronger, in the same way that Naruto's rapid progression was able to make Sasuke drive to get stronger as well. Kawaki's brutal Otsutsuki and now ninja tech fueled power is gonna push Boruto to evolve in a way that he never had before. It's gonna force Boruto to dig deeper into that shinobi ideology that he has. It's going to make that line in the future where he says, even still, I am still a shinobi, hit harder. This is a catalyst for that. Think of this like gasoline being poured before the match is struck. But he couldn't protect his comrades. Even when giving everything, his rival, he's now far beyond him in terms of brute strength. And that, ironically, burns, pun intended. But it's exactly what will ignite the fire in him to finally figure out how to master karma without letting Momoshiki take over. And most importantly, he will refine his techniques, not just stack on more. Just like Sasuke predicted when Boruto was 12, you will surpass Naruto. But now, Boruto, he has to earn that destiny, not necessarily inherit it. Yes, he surpassed Naruto in terms of raw power, but one of the things that made Naruto such a beloved character and such a respected character in the universe, it just wasn't about power. There were just other intangible aspects to Naruto Uzumaki that Boruto Otsutsuki has to start to develop. Experience, not power, is one of the things that he's lacking. Boruto may have more raw power than Naruto, any version of Naruto ever had, but power alone is not experience. Power alone is not strategy that is forged in blood. Power alone is not wisdom that is born from pain. Power alone cannot replace that unpredictability and creativity that someone like Naruto had. Jura just reminded us that even though Boruto has the strength of a grown man, he's still a teenager. And being powerful isn't the same thing as being ready. And that's what this chapter was meant to show us. Boruto, for as strong as he is not ready. Not yet. He's got all the tools though. Rasengan Uzuhiko, Karma, when he eventually masters it, or he's able to take advantage of resonance with Kawaki, and he's got Flying Raijin, but he lacks the full depth of understanding that only comes from loss, fear, failure, and reflection being able to bring you that clear clarity. His jutsu arsenal right now, they do have a lot of holes in them. He's got mastery of some things, but he isn't necessarily the master for them. You could say that Boruto's a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But right now, he has something new. He has a reason to grow, not from triumph, but from defeat, which leads us directly into Boruto in terms of the hero's journey. You could argue that this is almost like a reset to Boruto's true beginning. So, according to Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which if you're a longtime viewer of the channel and you remember like the early video essays we did here on the channel, we would reference Joseph Campbell's hero's journey a lot. Strongly recommend reading that book if you haven't. But every great hero must pass through the abyss, the moment where the hero faces the worst defeat, where everything seems like it is lost, where even life itself is hanging by a thread. For Naruto, you could argue the abyss for him was when he was fighting pain and being face to face with the person he knows who killed Jiraiya. For Sasuke, it was Itachi because of the Uchiha massacre. For Boruto, we could argue right now that that character might be Jura for him, depending on where their story goes from here. Boruto now knows what it feels like to be truly helpless. He now truly understands that a hero isn't measured by how hard he hits, but how many times he can get back up after being broken. After how many times he can get back up after being made into a punching bag like he is on this thumbnail. And this is where Boruto Otsutsuki's real story begins. Yes, Boruto Otsutsuki. He's not that Thunder Burger eating prodigy who wins without struggle anymore. He's now the ninja who has to endure. And that's what makes him more like Naruto than he ever realized. And it kind of makes you go back to when Sasuke compared him to Naruto and said, "You're an even bigger loser than your father, and that's the reason you're going to surpass him." Well, he just lost in a really big way here. And this is why Boruto's loss makes him stronger. So no, Boruto Otsutsuki's loss to Jura, it isn't something that hurt his character like I've been seeing. It's something that saves it. Because now he's going to have to rebuild himself. Now he must find a way to win, not through shortcuts or through fate. Not from just being the strongest, biggest, baddest guy where Rasengan goes boom, boom, Momoshiki goes bam, bam. But instead, he's got to do it through pain, through strategy and determination. The guts to never give up, as Jiraiya said. The way that every great shinobi from Jiraiya's sensei tree was able to do the same thing. And when he does rise again, it will mean so much more because we watched him fall. He fell hard in this chapter. That boy fell face first into a cactus out there in the sand village. And now we're going to watch him get back up. Of course, if he gets his face thrown in the dirt again, I'm going to laugh just like I'm doing now. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, click here on the left to check out the chapter review, or click here on the right to check out the other videos from my other two anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.